Hello and welcome to Katrinas Creations. This is our Saturday edition. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. You can click that little red button down below and then click the bell-shaped icon next to it. That will let you know anytime I post a video, which is always on Friday and Saturday. Yeah, usually Friday and Saturday, sometimes other times during the week as well. But if you do that, I appreciate it. And also if you give this video a big thumbs up, I do appreciate that too. It helps our analytics for the YouTube channel so it gets it out there and more recognized or recommended to other people. Another reason to subscribe is we are, at the time of filming, we are 31 people away from our next giveaway, which means every 100 new subscribers that I get, we do a yarn giveaway. So we are coming up on another giveaway 31 subscribers away. So if you haven't already, one more reason to click the little red subscribe button. So let's get started. I am wearing, it's a colorwork sweater. It's a free pattern from Drops Design. This one is called Pearls du Nord. And I've actually made this sweater over twice. I made it one time and then it became too big and I ripped the whole thing out and remade it, and it fits me perfect right now. So, and it's warm and snuggly. Today's not overly cold out, but it's just kind of damp and icky out. So yeah, it's all wool, so I am wearing that to stay cozy. So let me show you some works. Well, I actually have some finished objects, but they're not yarn related. So we'll get started with that first. The first thing I made, I got these kits to make little beaded snowflakes for my Christmas tree next year. And then I ordered some extra little pearl beads to finish them off with. So I have a total of 10. I'll show them to you really quick. So here is this one. And my Christmas tree is kind of a tealy blue color. So there's one. I'll hold them up two at a time. There's these two. This one has little real light blue tips there. You can see it a little bit better. So that's 2 and 3. Here is 4 and 5. These two are both just pearl. So that's 6 and 7. And then here is 8. And 9 and 10. So those are going on next year's Christmas tree. Then I used some of the extra pearls. I had bought this necklace a while back and it fit on my neck, but I felt like it was choking me all the time. And it has this chain on the back, but the chain wasn't quite long enough. That's why I was choking. So I added, don't know how well it's going to show up. There you go. I added extra chain to it so it will fit better. Apparently my neck is fat. And then I had an antique, at least I think it was antique. It was in some of my mother's or grandmother's things. It was a clasp. There you can see it right here. And so I took it apart and I added 2 rows of pearls for that. And then I also made just this plain row of pearls, not to wear, I mean, I guess I could wear it over my shoulder or over my head like this. But what I got it to do with is, I have a lot of brooches and I don't always wear them like, you know, on my shoulder, but they're adapted so that I could attach them to a pin and wear them almost like a choker type of a thing. But I have real pearls that Dave gave me years ago, and pearls can, you know, can scratch easily. You can damage them. So I didn't want to go pinning a brooch to my good pearls and ruining them. So my thought was, if I hold this like this, wrap it around my neck here, and then I can put a pin through here to hold it into place. So, and wear wear the brooch that way as well. I did try it one time with my real pearls, and it worked, and it was nice and everything, but I did worry the whole time whether it was going to scratch or pull on them or, you know, snap the string. So I'm doing these with cheap pearls, fakey pearls, because that way if it does break, the worst that's going to happen is I'm going to scatter little fake pearls all over the place. But yeah, other than that, I did use a beading needle when I was putting these together, and then proceeded to lose the beading needle, which, not to worry, I'm sure my bare foot will find it at some point in time. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It was sitting on the table, and then it was not sitting on the table. So yes, I'm waiting to have my foot impaled and therefore find the needle. So those are my finished objects. Now we'll get to my works in progress. The first thing is going to be, if you remember my giant hexagon blanket that I made and finished a couple weeks ago, I kept looking at it and I wish I would have made it a little wider and a little longer, because it does fit the top of my king-sized bed, but it doesn't hang over as much as I would like it to. It hangs over on the bottom, but not so much on the sides. But in order to make it bigger, it means I would have to rip off all of the black border that goes all the way around twice. I'd have to rip that off, and then I'd have to make, I counted for each row to go all the way around, I would have to make a total of 82 hexagons to go all the way around. And that's just once, which means if I added 2 or 3 rows, we're talking almost 200 or more. Yeah, it would take me, if I went around 3 more times, it would be 242. I think that's right, 242, something like that, that I would need. I have yarn left over, but not enough to do that many hexagons. And I also don't have that much of a variety of colors anymore. I used a good majority of it up when I made the big blanket. So then I thought, and I really don't feel like ripping the border all the way off after going around that. It takes a long time to go all the way around. It's almost 1 skein of yarn just to go around once, because it's 7.5 by 7.5 feet. So yeah, it takes a bit. So then I came up with another solution, and I have some leftover yarn, and I thought I have 3 skeins of each of these colors. I started with this one. These are yarns I got from Temu. They actually, surprisingly, are actually nice yarns. They are some kind of natural fiber. They're claiming to be merino. I don't know that they are merino. They're not scratchy, but you can tell they do definitely have some kind of wool in them. So I thought, well, what else am I going to use these for? This is a great idea. At least to me, it sounded like a great idea. So I'm going to use these total of 9 skeins to go around and add that right onto the black border. And then I have a skein of black yarn left. So I will go through all of these. I figured it's a good way to use up like whole skeins of yarn that I don't know what I'm going to do with. And go around, just keep adding it that way to the border. And then I have a full skein, like I said, of black yarn that I will edge it with when I finish. That will go for the final edge. So I think that might work, at least to be able to make it bigger. So that's the goal. I will insert a picture so you can see. So far I've gone around almost once. I'm about this short of once. I'll insert a picture so you can see what it looks like with this skein on there so far. So that's project number 1. Now we'll go to my knitting project, which is my Keeping You in Stitches shawl. The pattern is down below in the description box under my patterns, if you want to check it out. Let me show you. Where is, am I sitting right? No, here we go. Okay, this is what the pattern actually looks like if you do it the way the pattern is written. This is what it comes out looking like. And it will go around your shoulders. I mean, it's not a small shawl to begin with. It will fit around your shoulders like this and hang fine. Usually I tend to wear it like this and wrapped around my neck like that, like a kerchief. That's how I tend to wear it. However, this particular one that I'm making, I am following what Sue Lothar did to her pattern of this, and I'm going all the way across, but this last section, instead of doing the fans and feathers, which is what this is here, see this ruffled edge, this is fans and feathers, instead of doing that, I stopped at these little dots, doubled it, and now I'm going back through the pattern the opposite direction. I'm doing decreases instead of increases. So in theory, this shawl should be, that I'm making, will be twice this size. So it will be a good sized shawl when I'm finished. So now let me show you how far I've gotten, because I am into the decreases here. So here's where it began, and I jokingly call it the taco shawl because it reminds me of taco salad, just based on the colors. I'm ready for Cinco de Mayo. This is the center of the shawl. Those are those minis, or the little minis, mini holes, or little holes, I think is what they're called. This is about the direct center. And then it starts decreasing, and I have gone all the way to here, which is the equivalent of over in this section. So I'm about halfway through the decreases coming down this side. So there it is, and I'll turn it over so you can see where the point is. So here you can see the point, and you can see the decreases going down. So that is my progress on that shawl, and this is what I've got left of the one ball of yarn. This is the one that does all the colors. The second one is what this green is made out of, and I have what's left of that, because this was like 2 skeins and I had about 4 of these. So we're coming down the home stretch. And then I've got a brand new project that I started. I had told you when I finished my hexagon blanket, I was anxious to get started on a continuous join C2C. This was a pattern that I had seen this past summer that Mary Wanamaker had made, and she had done it in blue. I think she used, I believe it was Lion Brand, or was it Red Heart? It was Scuba was the color. I've always remembered that. It was Scuba was the color. And they're blocks, C2C blocks about this size, but they're continuously joined, so you don't have to hook them together when you finish. You literally go up one side, and then you come down, and then you go up, and you go down, so forth like that. So I started that this week, and the tutorial that I'm watching, Mary sent me the link to, so I've been using that, and that is from Terry of the Yarn Joy podcast. She's the one that did the tutorial that I'm following. So here is, I'm working on the 4th square so far. This is like a lapgan size. So here is square 1, and you can see right where it ends because my color changes. And then here is square 2, and you can see where it changes. And here is square 3, and I'm working on square 4. It's supposed to be 5 squares tall and 4 squares wide, but I'm finding I got three squares out of 1 skein, and I have a total of 9 skeins of yarn available. So I actually might be able to make this a little bit bigger. I have to do some math and figure out if it'll work or not, but here it is so far. And I love the way these color changes kind of work like this, so they kind of look diamond shaped, and I think it's like the optics on it I really like. And you could do this with something other than a gradient, but that's what I fell in love with, was the gradient. The yarn I am using is extremely soft, and that is Bag O' Day Tonal Hues. That's the yarn, and the color I am using is called Not for the Money. And this is a worsted weight premium anti-pull acrylic. And I got this from Mary Maxim. So, yeah, that's where I got this from. Like I said, I have 9 skeins of it. There are 280 yards per skein, and I am using a 5mm hook. I do like this yarn. I think it is really, really soft. I mean, it is incredibly soft. I will say I am finding that it does split easily when I'm going through with the hook. Sometimes it's not twisted as tight as some of your other yarns. It looks twisted tight, but when you're crocheting with it, sometimes it does tend to split apart a little bit, and I've had to pull back and make sure I go back and catch that if it kind of loops up a little bit. So that's the only downfall I've seen with it, but it is really, really soft. So I'm happy with it. And it almost feels like a cotton, but it's not. It's, like I said, it's a premium acrylic, anti-pilling, which means it should not fuzz up. We'll hope. So that's what I've been working on this week. What have you been working on? So if you missed yesterday's video, you can click the link right here. That will take you over to it. We went on a chaotic trip to Virginia. If you saw the first episode, you'll know what I'm talking about. And there's 2 more episodes coming up, because we were going a total of 3 days, 2 nights. Yeah, it was an adventure, to say the least. So make sure you stay tuned. The next 2 installments of our adventure will be on Monday and on Tuesday, so you can check out our Chaos in Virginia trip. So yeah, like I said, there will be a video Monday and Tuesday this week, so you can find out what all went on. As a result, there will not be a video on Friday of this week because they're going to be on Monday and Tuesday instead. So yeah, it'll give me a chance to get kind of caught back up on some of my filming. So yeah, no video on Friday, but there will be a movie. There will be an adventure on Monday and Tuesday. So make sure you check those out. Now it's time for... So in our Come and Get It section, I tell you the different yarn sales that are going on that I know about. And if you want to check them out, you can click the link down below the video where it says more. Just click the bold word more. It will open up and they're all listed alphabetically. So we'll get started with that. The first one is Mary Maxim, like where I got this from. Mary Maxim is running a site-wide yarn sale, 25 to 50% off. So it's a good one. 25 to 50% off site-wide yarn sale. It ends on the 23rd. So you have some days out there. You can go take advantage of this one if you would like to. So that is Mary Maxim. There's no coupon code needed. Everything's already been marked down. So that is Mary Maxim. Lion Brand Yarn is also having up to 25% off yarn and kits. That one you also do not need a coupon code for, and that also ends on the 23rd. So that is Lion Brand. Then we have Lovecrafts. Lovecrafts is having their end of winter clear out, which is up to 50% off, and they put new yarns in it each day. So if you're interested and you don't see something, keep checking back because it might show up. So that is over at Lovecrafts. And then lastly, we have Knit Picks. Knit Picks yarn of the month is, I think it's called High Desert. That is their that one's 20% off. That's automatic. That runs till the end of the month. But they are also doing a special right now where you get, it's 50% off of their mystery sock bundle. It's normally almost like $50, I think, or a little bit more. They're currently selling this till the end of the month, which is the 28th, for $24.99. So I had to look into it because I thought, well, what do you get in this sock bundle? You do get to kind of choose the color palette that you want. Like one was rainbow colors, one was green colors, and one was, I think there was some yellows. I don't know, it was like color palettes you could choose from, but you don't know exactly what you're going to get. You will get an equivalent of 3 skeins of fingering weight yarn, and they are in different dye effects. So it's all fingering, which can be used for your socks. So you might get some that is, you know, like multicolored like this. You might get some that are tonal, and you might get some that are speckled, or, you know, that type of a thing. The picture they're showing actually had some mini skeins in it too. So it could be 2 full skeins and a set of mini skeins. Anyway, it looks at it, you're getting an equivalent of 1,145 yards, which works out to 300 grams of yarn, which is, for fingering weight, that is the equivalent of 3 full skeins of fingering weight yarn for $24.99, which when you divide 3 into the $24.99, you're paying $8.30, roughly $8.30 some cents for a skein of sock yarn. And these yarns are, trying to think, did it say? I did not see what the yarn content is, but usually sock yarn is some type of a wool nylon blend. So it's not a bad deal at all when you look at the quality of yarn you're probably going to be getting. But it's a mystery because you won't know exactly what's coming. So anyway, that is Knit Picks if you're interested. So those are the sales that I know about. If I run across any other good sales going on, I always post them in a short little video that's yellow with black letters. If you see that, you know it's a sale that I'm letting you know about. So that's what I have for you this week. Make sure you stay tuned on Monday and Tuesday to check out the rest of our vacation chaos, or our little getaway. It wasn't really vacation, it was a little getaway chaos. So if you want to check that out, and I will see you again on Saturday. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.